All right, so before we get started, before you start making mail, you've got to know what kind of project that you want to make, because the tools and materials that go into making jewelry type mail are completely different than what would go into making armor grade mail versus costume grade mail. So I'll go over some of the materials. If you're going to make jewelry like earrings or something like that, then you're probably going to want to go very, very thin wire, like the craft wire that you might get at Hobby Lobby or over at Michael's or something like that. It comes on a little spool. It'll be 18 gauge, sometimes 22 gauge, which is very tiny wire. It's okay. It's not very strong, but we're not going to be hitting it with a sword or something. It's just going to be dangling from your ears. So that's what I would highly recommend. They're usually coated with gold or silver. They're not solid, obviously, but they at least look good. If you're going to be making for costume armor that doesn't need to hold up on the battlefield, you're going to wear it to a convention as part of a costume, then I would go with steel wire, and I would go with probably 18 to 16. As if you don't know, the gauges, the smaller the number, the bigger the wire. So 22 being very small, 18 or 16 is strong enough to hold up for daily walking around and wearing it. But if you were to like grab it and yank it, you could probably pop some rings out of it. It's not that strong. But for a costume, absolutely perfect. And it's easier to work with than the thick stuff. Next, this is 14 gauge galvanized, and this is available at any hardware store. This is, I picked this up at Lowe's just yesterday. It's between $8 and $10 for 100 feet. Just for perspective, a chainmail shirt is going to have about 12 to 1400 feet in it, so it can get expensive. So you're talking about $140, $150 for the materials for one of those shirts. However, if you go to Tractor Supply, you can buy it in 1/4 and 1/2 mile rolls for about $50. And that's enough to make the whole chainmail shirt on $50-ish. So buying in bulk does help, but I wouldn't buy in bulk until you've played with it and decided this hobby is for you, because it requires a lot of patience. A lot of patience. So do a small project first. Go and buy the $10 roll or the spool at Hobby Lobby or something like that before you go and get a 1/4 mile. Okay, this, however, looks different, does it not? This is stainless steel wire. This is 16 gauge, which is smaller than the 14 gauge, but because the stainless is stronger than the mild steel, this has the same strength as this with about, I don't know, 1/3 less weight, but for the same exact strength. The issue you're going to get into is this costs about twice as much. So stainless steel is very costly, but if you will come with me, so this is my stainless steel shirt. Go ahead and pick it up and feel the weight. And then these are both mild steel 14 gauge shirts. Yes, now you're starting to get an idea.
On both?
What's that?
It's the same weave on both?
Same weave, exactly, on both. So for the same strength, it's going to be at least 30% heavier. Mm-hmm. Now, the other type of mail that's out there that I will be showing you how to make today, but I would not advise it for a beginner, I'm just going to do a demo, is this right here. If you look at this, all of these rings are flat and the ends are riveted closed. Now, because the rings are riveted closed, take a look at the rivets through the ends of the rings. So that holds those closed so they can be not as strong, but still hold up for the same use, because it takes a lot more energy to break that rivet and pull the rings apart. So this tends to be lighter. The drawback to that is the amount of work that goes into each ring, drilling it, punching the rivet through, and closing it, it's going to be at least twice as labor and time intensive as this is what we call butted mail. You can see the ends of the rings just come together, and the strength of the ring is what holds it in place.
I called it because it hit and I didn't know.
Now for a history lesson.
I'm not sure.
From about 300 to maybe 600 BC up until around the year 1400, they used riveted mail for all of their hauberks, all of their pieces of armor that they made, from the Gauls to the Romans to into the early Middle Ages. And then they figured out a shortcut. Right? I don't know. Well, no, they actually abandoned a shortcut. I'm sorry. 1400, they changed. If you take a look at this and this, you'll notice something. This ring right here doesn't have a rivet. It's actually a solid ring. There's no opening. Same thing on here. That ring right there, no rivet. It's a solid ring. People think that perhaps they were punched out of a sheet or something like that. We don't really know. But up until the Middle Ages, this is how chainmail was done. Every other row was a riveted ring, and every other row was a solid ring. And then in the Middle Ages, for some reason, right around 1400, they started riveting every ring in the entire piece that they were making. My theory is that, 1400s, 1500s, they started going from a cottage industry where a blacksmith and an apprentice had a shop to a large, group with lots of people working, and they could make it more of a production line. And so everyone was doing the same thing. You're riveting rings, you're making rings, and it got more, I wouldn't call it industrial, that would be later, but more of a production line. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe it was easier to fix as well.
Perhaps. No one really knows, but right around the year 1400 is when it changed from this, which seems to make a lot more sense because it's so much less work, to riveting every ring. Okay, so now let me show you some jewelry we.
That's a booklet.
I can't tell if I
That's
dip off
my
his
grandson.
shoulder and into his head.
So I'll show you another one in a little while, but this right here is an extremely simple way to make a chain. Basically, each ring goes through the two previous ones. See there? That ring goes through the two previous ones. And so when you pull them tight, you get a spiral. Now, if you go through the previous three, you'll get a tighter spiral. And the previous four, you'll get an even tighter spiral until you won't even be able to bend it. It'll be so tight. But if you won't, I guarantee you, if you look at modern jewelry, you'll see this. So this is still how they make a spiral chain if you go and shop at anywhere that sells jewelry. This chain right here is kind of a Byzantine pattern. And let me get it all ready to go. Here we go. So this right here is basically interconnected spheres or boxes of rings. And I'll show you how to make that after I show you the basics. And then there's one more that I'll also show you, and it'll go kind of alternating, like one little box and then some rings and then another box and then some rings. They call it the Byzantine pattern, and absolutely 100% you'll still see it in modern jewelry. You're gonna need a way to make the rings if you want to spend time, or you can buy the rings if you want to spend money. You just have to decide which one you have more of, because there's a website called The Ring Lord that will sell you the wire in any type of metal you can imagine, from solid gold to aluminum. Everything you can think of, they will sell you the wire in whatever length you want. And then you can turn that into rings. Or this same website, ringlord.com, will sell you pre-made rings, like in bags, by the hundreds, by the thousands. They'll sell it by the kilogram. So the problem is, you're gonna pay a few cents per ring, and there's 10,000 rings in one of those shirts. So you can see that's gonna add up really quick. However, if you just buy the wire and make the rings yourself, then it's fractions of a penny per ring, depending on the materials, obviously. but you can save a lot of money. But let me tell you, a shirt like that, for me, who I'm pretty fast at this because I've been doing it a long time, that's a
Oh yeah, see?
1 to 2 month project. For a newcomer, I would expect a 6 month project to make a shirt. So if you want to save some time, you can buy the rings, but it is going to cost.
Yeah.
So that's the flat side, and if you flip it over, you'll see the points of the rivets coming out and getting domed over. If you do chainmail riveted mail right, you'll put all the flats on one side and all the points of the rivets on the other, so the garment will have a distinctive inside and outside. And you don't want to wear it if all the points are on the inside, because it'll be super scratchy. You want all the flats on the inside against you.
I'll keep a note on that, and
Is it like,
once I get.
is it like hammered down?
Yes.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm going to do a demo later and show you exactly. I'm just going to make a ring and add it to that so you can see how it goes. But, alright. So, we're going to start with what's called the European 4-in-1 pattern. And there's a couple of ways to make it. I'll show you what I think is one of the easiest, and then I'll show you another one that once you get going you might want to switch to, because it's just, you have to have what I call the vision and be able to see the pattern. So the way I'm going to show you, you really need to be able to see the pattern. And then the second way, you don't need to be able to see the pattern, but it'll be slower. Okay, now there are other weaves out there. Like I've shown you, these are jewelry weaves. There are other armor weaves out there. This is the Japanese way of making chainmail. It's a very three-dimensional pattern. The rings are, as you can see, perpendicular to the flat.
So is that Japanese 4-in-1?
This is, would it be called 4-in-1? Because this one's only going through 2. These 4, this one is going through 4, this one is going through 4, but there are some, such as these connectors, that are only going through 2. But here's something that most people don't know. Having looked at a few, the Japanese used butted mail. They didn't use, well, maybe some of them did use riveted mail, but there are a lot of examples of the Japanese chainmail that just uses the butted rings, not riveted together. And that's mostly because the Japanese armor would use small patches of it just on exposed areas and just to stop a cut there. And it doesn't need to be as strong as like the Europeans, where they were wearing all full chainmail from head to toe, right? The Japanese would just have a little patch here and then a plate there, and then the gap would be protected by a little piece to stop a cut. Okay, so, care for your chainmail. You'll see the rust on this. If you're not using stainless, then you are going to get rust like that. There's many different ways to get it off of there. A wire brush. Keeping it oiled will prevent the rust, but then it stains whatever you wear it on. So here's the thing. So that one on the end of the table down there, the kind of darker colored one, I built that in 1992. And I have never cleaned it. The reason it still looks as good as it does is that if you regularly wear it, move it, use it, show it off, just in general, have it moving. The rings will move over each other, and yes, and they will polish themselves.
Right.
And it will go from this shiny to this dark like this, because the shiny part on these, the galvanized, is, I believe, a nickel coating that is applied by electrolysis, and it will rub off, leaving the darker steel underneath, which I think looks really good. But simple, this has just laid in a box for years, and that's why it's rusty. If I were bringing it out and just moving it like this, it would slowly clean itself. Another way that you can do it, if you have something, mail, that you want to clean fairly, I won't say quickly, but efficiently, you can get yourself a 5-gallon bucket, fill it with sand about halfway, and then put the piece of mail in there, and then just roll it around the yard with the lid on it, and the sand will take the rust off. For instance, yesterday this was covered in rust. I put it in the sand, rolled it around, and that's what it looks like now. So, pretty effective. Better just to not let it rust.
Right.
But you can get the rust off. So, shall we learn how to make rings? Okay. Would you show us your jig?
Yep. Show the jig.
You need a dowel.
You dancing now? You doing
This is how you keep all the rings the same size. But you can do it manually, like I'm going to show you. If you do it like this with the drill,
You have to wear gloves.
you're going to have to wear gloves either way. The thing is that you have to be very careful that it doesn't get away from you and just create a bird's nest of wire. Because that can go very fast. Yeah.
That's how I'm fast.
Okay. Yeah. That'll take several feet of wire away from you in a second. So, once you get a feel for it and you know what you're doing, yes, this is a way to make a lot of rings really quick. But if you do it without knowing what you're doing, you're going to waste probably 30 feet of wire before you even know what's going on. This is also, in my opinion, more portable. So 24 years in the Air Force, and I made chainmail on every deployment that I went on. I didn't need to bring something like that, because I could just bring like a 1-foot section of wooden dowel and make chainmail rings. And here's how it works. You're gonna need a pair of wire cutters. The smaller the wire you're using, the smaller the cutters you can get away with. So you can use just a small pair of dikes about the size of this pair of pliers if you're doing jewelry thickness wire. If you're doing costume wire, you can get away. I have another, like a medium-sized pair of cutters in the box there, if you could show us that. Nope, nope. Red-handled cutters, there they are. That's great for the costume armor size wire right here. And then that is what you're gonna need for armor thickness. Okay, so if you try to use this on the armor thickness, it's gonna be very difficult on your hands. You're gonna be doing this thousands of times. So you wanna,
fun after that? It gets harder.
yes, exactly. You wanna use leverage, it's your friend. This right here, I like to put it right on the top of my thigh, so I can just cut like this. I'm pushing down with one, and I'm holding the piece with the other hand.
You were pro play today.
So, to make some rings, just cut yourself a length of wire.
I'm reading the
And then we're gonna kind of straighten it out like that. And one end, you're gonna need your next tool, a pair of vice grips. Now, if you're doing a metal, this one's metal, dowel, then you can get away with just drilling a hole through the dowel and passing the end of the wire through there, and that'll hold it in place. But that's not gonna work on a wooden one, it'll just split. So the way to do it on wood is you clip it using the vice grips to the end of the dowel. That also creates a handle. And then, always wear gloves. I advise leather gloves. Any kind of rubber is going to be too much friction, but this suede allows it to slide past your hand real smooth and easily. So now, I'm going to bend it and just use the vice grips as a handle to make a spring. And the tighter you can make the spring, the closer together the loops, the more efficient the use of the wire. If you have space in between each ring, that's extra wire that you don't need to be using, and that's money. So the tighter, the more efficient.
My other plates stand down.
This length, about 2 feet here, will make about 30 rings.
Yeah, it's where overlaps you have. Upper, lower, upper.
There's a spring.
So everything else after that.
This is how you make rings. I don't care what type. You just use a smaller dowel and smaller wire. but the process is the same, whether you're making jewelry or whether you're making... Now, you can buy jump rings also to make the jewelry mail. That's also available at Hobby Lobby, Michael's. And you can buy them in a bag with a couple hundred in there for just a few bucks. And if you're just making a pair of earrings, then that's all you're gonna need.
Right.
So, anyway, there's the spring. And it is literally a spring.
That's why.
Then you take this,
That's why
and
I'll go full 5 shot.
get rid of the little end piece there.
Yeah, it was
And then I like to cut 2 at a time.
back in the day. I was exactly.
Just cut, making sure you're, every time you cut right next to where you cut last time.
I'm a lefty, so
And then
you know.
So before I'm flying,
right next to the previous cut,
go down.
because we're trying to be as efficient as possible and not waste any wire. And that's how you make the rings.
Even when I've got my shield, that
Now,
shield,
you can, a lot of people do, leave it on the dowel and then take a Dremel and just cut right down the length of it. You'll lose an amount of wire equal to the thickness of the disc on the Dremel. But it is pretty quick and it will save you a lot of time. But if you're throwing your stuff into a bag to take with you to do somewhere and you don't have electricity, this is it.
Yeah.
This is all you need to make your rings.
You killed me.
Okay. Now, the 4-on-1 pattern. It should be pretty obvious what we're about to do. We're going to take, I'll use the small ones because they're easier. We're going to take 2 pairs of pliers, 1 in each hand, and take a ring, and we're going to open it like that, just a little bit, and then set it aside. And then we're going to take 4, and you see the ends don't quite meet. Oh, you got magnetic pliers.
It's okay.
And then we're going to close.
You got to work on the tail.
See how I bent it so the ends do meet. Close 4.
Yeah.
you do it down here,
2,
get in a budget.
So you're under spider too?
I'm gonna try this.
3,
No,
That was spider.
my night.
4.
That's a spider.
Close
Well,
4.
Duke Solomon is actually.
Yeah, but we were always
Everybody
Yep.
calls him.
Looks good.
Everybody calls
Yes.
him. If you
Very
do
good.
Solomon, you either in trouble or somebody else is in trouble.
Yeah.
That's the only time you hear Duke Solomon. It's Dross's coin.
This-
He's in trouble.
Is what we're going to make. This is the basic, as you can see. This is the basic, what would you call it, unit of chainmail. It's 25 rings exactly. It makes a little rectangle. And you make larger and larger pieces by just adding in either direction. All of those shirts were made with nothing but rectangles. As a matter of fact, the Aventail on the bottom of my helmet, which is circular, was made with rectangles.
You better win too.
There's 2 ways to make a circular piece. One is to make 4 triangles and 4 rectangles and attach them. Triangle, rectangle, triangle, rectangle, triangle, rectangle, all the way around, and you'll make a circular piece. The other way is to start with 1 ring, and then put like 4, and then put like 8, and then put like 12. And each row that you add out from the center, you're just adding extra rings, and it will make like a chainmail doily. But that's another way to make a circular piece. Okay, we have 4 closed and 1 open. Now let's take that open one and put it back in your pair of pliers. Perfect, perfect. Yes. Leave yourself some space because you probably figured it out by now. We're going to be putting the closed ones on the open one. Yeah, that's why I said leave yourself a little space.
Okay, let me check my stick. Okay, just tape. Push down. Let's go.
And then we're going to close that open one.
That's a flat you keep to this.
And that is the 4-in-1, where the European 4-in-1 pattern gets its name.
And then you take every year I strip
Okay,
all my swords.
now you've got 1.
Okay.
We need 4 of those.
Start of the new fighting season. I
So,
always have fresh tape and everything on it so they can do it. I always had like 6, 7 sticks. Different lengths. When I do a 14, you do not that long. Can't get up.
when you've been doing this as long as me,
I bet on
you can do this in the dark. without being able to see at all.
Stay behind that shell and go,
But one time I was deployed, and my friends were like, "Hey, well, we're sorry, we want to watch a movie. We need to turn the lights out." And I'm like, "That's fine." They're like, "But you'll have to stop making your chainmail." I'm like, "No, no, I won't."
Because I did like the sometimes has a tendency to rhino.
everybody has a tendency. That's why you.
Another deployed story. So when I make the rings, I usually have a cup or something that I keep them in. And I was keeping them in a coffee cup, just a paper coffee cup one time. And one of my friends was going around the room, and he was cleaning up. He was picking up trash, and he was picking up coffee cups that were half full, and he was throwing them out the door into the rocks, you know, just outside the building. And he grabbed my cup full of rings without knowing it. There's probably 300 rings in there, and he quickly throws it out the door, and he hears jingle, jing, 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 as the rings just go into the rocks. And he turns around to him and he's like, "Please don't kill me."
Connor, myself, Mark, and Ben. I'm getting liquid.
Hit him, and he.
Mark found out that we need to return one.
Alright, I've got 3. We're getting close to the hard part, where you actually have to see the pattern. Up to this point, no.
Right about there.
Simply because my helmet is there. That's because he wasn't following the rules. Charmin is clean to be followed. So if you hit my head, I know before.
Alright, I have 4 done.
He found out he needed to retype the comment, and I would use teletype this to how that
That looks good.
That was through the
Now, what I want you to do is take one of your remaining rings and open it just like you did for the others. When we're making the 4-on-1. Open it up. Okay, now we're going to take 2 of the 4 on one of our little, some people call them clovers. But we're going to take 2 and we're going to put them on there. And then we're going to take another 2 and put it on there to make another 4-on-1. So we're going to have a little chain that goes 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Like that. Oh no, 2 of the 4-on-1s. So those 2 plus another from this piece. Put those 2 end pieces with right where the other one went. So you just made another 4-on-1.
Okay.
And you'll find that in the interest of efficiency, you'll find just how much you have to open that ring to make this work, so you don't have to bend it as far closed again, and saving you a little bit of extra effort. Okay, so once you've got that done, do it again. Open one, take one of your 4-on-1s and put 2. Another 4-on-1 and put 2, and close it up for another 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Up to this point, it's just been memorization. At this point is now where you have to be able to see into the quantum realm.
I'm not hitting you. Nope.
I picked off a porthole golf course.
Yes, that looks perfect. Both of those look perfect. You should have 3 rings left. I gave you an extra. You have 3 rings left out of your 25. Now I'm going to bring my piece around, and I'm going to do it twice. I have extra right here. And I'm going to do it in front of you so you can see it happen for both of you. All right. If you would please scoot over so that I can get in. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay our little chains out
You're just saying that even if you're not.
And we want them to be laying in the same direction. What I mean is, the bottom of the ring is on this side, and the top is on the left. Bottom on the right, top on the left for your top row. So bottom of the ring is on the right, and the top is on the left.
So
There we go. Bottom is on the right, and the top is on the left. It's very important. If you're right-handed. Reverse this if you're left-handed. Now, we need an open ring. You can go ahead and make your open ring.
And all of a sudden they just stick a spear out. I'm just thinking about
And I advise you open it a little bit more than you usually do. You'll get good enough to do it with a small opening, but for this one, it's easier to see with a large open ring. That'll work, that'll work. Okay, we are going to slide these together so that they overlap. Yes, slide them together so that they overlap. Yes. Yeah, that bottom one is back. Yeah, wait.
I got tired of kneeling. I stood up. I got tired of kneeling.
There we go.
I stood up, spit out.
So really only the top two rows need to overlap for this. Now, once it overlaps like this, it's just twisting.
As he looks at me going, wait, what? I just stood there. And he popped and I'm like, and I walked.
There we go. Okay, so you've got a row of 4, you got a row of 2, and then a row of 4. We need 4, 3, 4, so we're going to add one in that's going to link the two together. Now, you take this and you use the open end of the ring. Come on over and take a look. You're going to pass it down. See how these overlap and make a little gap? Pass it down through those two. Slide it up to the front, to the top row, and bring it back up through the overlapping rings. There. And then you're going to pick it up and close it. Now I will help you so that you get it right.
Is it both or just the bottom one?
I'll show you. Okay, see, now we've got 4, 3, 4. And we're going to do that for this row that has 2 and the next row that has 2. So we'll start with you. Wait. Let's make it as easy as possible. Wait. Now. Overlap them just right. They'll tell you. Okay. So, the row of 4, where the 2 middle ones overlap, you go down through both of those. Slide it over and come back up through the top 2 that overlap. Take it out so that you can see for yourself. Okay, so down through these 2, slide it up, and the top row, you'll have to re-overlap them probably, up through those 2.
Okay, alright.
You got that?
Yep,
Let's see, Avalor.
I've done something.
Let's see.
I definitely did something.
They're not connected.
I agree. Okay,
They're not connected.
This one. This one. And then
That's not Baron Conor of Stronghold. And when I fight on that video, I was fighting. I think I was fighting for.
I hope I did it right.
I was actually me.
Let's take this one.
But right as he put me down on my head, I swat shot it through the shield with his sword against him.
I think I did it right.
That's it. It's easy to see if you take the bottom and you hang it upside down. You can tell if you got it right. And
Okay, okay.
you did. Now, for yours, the next row of 4, the 2 rows of 4 are where it's going to go through. Let's open one up. And the wider you can get it, about 90 degrees or close to it. There. Okay. So, where are we going to go?
So we're going to grab this bottom one here.
Yes. And the one underneath it.
And this one?
Always go down through the bottom 2. So, you're trying to come up through it.
That one.
No. That's the right one, but you need to go down through it instead of up through it. So, from the top down.
Oh, okay,
There
there.
we go. Now we come up through the other row of 4.
That
Up,
one
and that is exactly, what, you got an extra?
that one.
There you go. That is it. That is it.
Okay.
Okay, Avalor. We'll get yours once.
Whether I can
Once
buy
yours is
that
done.
again is another.
Full plate, steel, helmet, and
Now,
I see.
full on.
that's it.
And you take the shot. And you can,
Yes, now you just got one last ring to add in,
Okay.
and you have made your piece. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah,
there you are.
proofreading.
There you are.
We're so close. We're so close. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you've got your 212122 again. This is not supposed to.
Commentary
This is extra.
is for
Okay.
Rhyme
So
order,
there's a 4 and 1, and there's a 4 and 1,
but
and you need to
it came up
link them
that
together.
we moved to proofreading.
That one.
Even
And that,
though
and down,
it
down,
was
and then
way, like
Over.
a month and almost 3 weeks
and up.
past the time.
You've got it.
Yeah.
Now,
Because I know the 30 days went past on the last one, where it was
all right. So set that aside, and now you've
being
seen
decided.
the hard mode, and
Got
I'll show you
month-rolled,
easy mode.
For device,
It looks
last
cool.
level
Yes.
on Kingdom.
I think you went through
For
the
society,
wrong one on the bottom row.
But society last
So
level.
that's the ring.
You
You want
go
to
through
open it back
30
up.
months of the
That looks right.
and I got it back.
Okay, so now it's your turn. You got your open ring right there, and we lay them. So they're both laying the same way, and we overlap them. Okay, so the 2 rows of 4. The bottom row, the overlapping rings, we're going to go down from the top through to the bottom, and then we have to come up to the 2 overlapping rings on the top row, like that. Want to go ahead and close that?
Yep.
And then you do the next row. Okay, so let's get them overlapping so we can see which ones are. There we go.
Why they kick it
Those
back
2.
Because there was
Those are the ones that need to go down.
Two.
field of red and blue and a rapier.
Yes,
is different.
and yes.
Sort of,
Now
there was
up
a rapier,
through that one
only rapier.
and that one. That's it.
And the Kingdom of Love pack for a rapier award.
Is it closed? It's easy if you take the
But you're
unfinished
supposed to have
end and hold it by that.
one major.
You can usually see
Yeah,
if it went correctly.
it's a different.
And it did.
microphone and
Okay, you ready for the next one?
two
Yep.
li- two lines.
So you see the 2
So
that come together right there?
this major,
That's the ones you go down through, and the 2 that come together there are the ones you go up through.
sword and not a rapier. So,
Like I said, this one takes the vision. You have to be able to, in 3 dimensions, see the pattern. That looks pretty good. I think you got it.
and they still kick.
Once you get a piece of this made, there's another way you can proceed. Now, me, I just make hundreds of these little rectangles, and then I do the same thing. I put them next to each other and then sew them all together. You can also cheat, especially if you're making a round piece instead of a square piece. And that is, you just take the bottom edge and every 2 you hook together. And then the next 2. So you can see the next 2 that overlap get hooked together. You don't have to actually see the pattern with this. Just every 2 that are next to each other, get a ring through them. And then the next 2 that are next to each other, get a ring through them. If you're making, say, a belt or any long piece, a bracelet, something like that, this is a way to do it without, especially if the rings are really tiny. This is a way to do it without having to see the pattern. Yes! Perfect. So here's what I'm saying. if you get a piece and you just want to continue, you could make another 25 and hook those 25 together.
Right.
However, if seeing the pattern is difficult for you, you can extend this piece just by every 2 that are next to each other. You connect. And you just keep going. If they're next to each other, they get a ring. Much easier. Don't need to see the pattern. And just keep going. You'll see it's getting longer and longer. One more ring. These 2 are next to each other, so I'll put a ring through them. And you can get a lot done like that. Now, okay, so you've got the basics and you've seen how to cheat. Now, like I said, on a round piece where you've started from a single ring and you're just adding a few each time, you're going to have what they call expander rings. So if you don't have expander rings, you're just making a rectangle. And what that means is, for an expander ring, is, where's some rings? Here we go. So, if I could borrow one of yours. Oh yeah, that one worked just fine. So you see the bottom row has 4, right? Now I'm going to just spread these apart and add a ring to that middle one. Now the bottom row has 5. That's an expander ring. And if you add, spread them out. Don't put all your expander rings in one place or you'll have a clump. But if you have a large piece, and every row you just go in and add a ring as you make the row. This only works if you're doing it one row at a time. If you're doing like the rectangles, it doesn't work. But every time you have a row, you make a row, add a couple extras. And then do another row and add a couple extras. And it will start coming out like this. And if you're working from a central point, it will expand and expand. I recommend about 6 to 8 rings per row, and you'll keep it so it'll spread out in a circle like those. And that's about what those are adding. Those are adding about 8 rings per row.
So it's like crocheting
Mmm.
when you're doing a round and you add an extra. Yeah.
It's a very similar concept.
Yeah.
But that's how you can do a round piece. The other way to do a round piece, if I may borrow all of our pieces here, is, we'll pretend I finished this one. And we'll say it's hooked to right here, and this one to right here, and then this one to right here, and I've made a T, right? If I hook these all together, I've got a T. And then I just add a ring there, 2 rings, 3 rings, 4
I
rings,
think I like that better.
and it makes a triangle. Then I add another one,
It's more,
2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
and it'll make a triangle.
Just fill in where the rectangles are.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So let's take a look at my Aventail on my helmet. You can kind of see how the rings are kind of funky right there and right there.
Yeah.
That's because this is a triangle, just like I told you how to make.
Okay.
This is a rectangle. That's a triangle. This is a rectangle.
You added gores.
I added gores. Exactly. If we're using sewing terms, I added gores. And that's how I got this into a round shape.
Sure.
Because for me, it was quicker to work in rectangles and then make them into triangles than it was to do 1 ring at a time. But if you don't have the vision, 1 ring at a time actually is beneficial. These were made the 1 ring at a time. If you went through here we go. Look at this. Here's an expander ring that's been added. Here's a ring that has 3 on the bottom and 2 going through the top. That ring right here. See how the 3 on the bottom side, but only 2 go through it on the top?
Okay.
That's an expander ring that's just been added to expand the pattern. So those are the 2 ways that you can make it. You've already seen this. A lot of people call this the snake weave. I'm going to take it apart, or maybe I'll just start fresh. Okay. Close 3. Doesn't have to be 3, it can be 2. I just like 3. There are, of course, YouTube videos on how to do all of this. Okay, so for this particular jewelry weave, which is called Idiot's Delight or Byzantine, I'm going to start with 3, and then I'm going to put 4 on 3 instead of 4 on 1. It makes it a little bit thicker, a little bit heftier of a pattern. 2,
over in Adel. I haven't found one.
3, and one goes through the 3. Okay, so I've got 4 on 3 now. That's going to be the basic pattern for this. We're going to take 2, in. I'm going to need another 3. I think you're going to like how this looks. Then I'll start. On this one, I'm only going to put 2 through because those 2 are going to be the other 2 of the 4. So
I didn't feel like constantly going to buy things. If I got the little
1 and 1 more.
But it was, I was so upset. I had waited like 3 months. So I came up with this.
Okay, so here's the other half of this one. Now, this is going to be a little advanced. Here's the other 2 for the 4 on 3. Open them up. It's going to get a little crazy. But I'm going to go the 2. I'm going to go from the inside between them, out, back around, and back from the inside over there. And then I'm going to hook it to my 3 over here. And it's going to get really ugly until I put the other one in there. If I pull them now,
Yes, they do that. My cooler from my
see, it looks like this. I went from the inside, around, and back in. From inside to out, back to the inside.
Okay.
The other side gets the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and put it through my 3, from the inside to the out, around and back into there, then I'm going to close it.
mine has
Before I lose it, come on.
last.
It's closed. Okay, now if I pull it from the ends, I have made a ball.
Oh, okay.
There's some chains like that, and they have little balls in them. Mobius balls are so cool.
Now, let's do it again so you can see the difference between that and this. This is the same weave, but without the 3.
No, that's what they told me. Is that you can eliminate it at back into that. I was like, oh, okay. Try it one time. You talk about
2,
yeah. No sugar. No sugar. Well, it cleaned that. It cleaned it.
3. Now I need a couple of open ones.
I couldn't live without. I couldn't live without mine. I'd spend.
If you're going to make jewelry, you'll definitely need to learn these 2.
Oh, you need to install.
Okay, now I need the 2 connectors. This should make the pattern really pop.
So there's no way to recap it without, but you can't buy the cap,
We can't
By
buy the
itself.
cap. Why not? The manufacturer sells it.
not by itself.
Really?
No, they sell filters. But they
Take
sell
either end, take the 2 that are on the end, and go from between them, out, around, and back in, and close it.
Picture of somebody ice maker out for the
Yeah.
and I got rid of that.
You can't
Then do the same thing.
It's just taking up space.
Yeah.
When we remodel,
Come on.
the water line.
You need to be able to see it. There it is. Now, through there, Got the 3. From in between them,
Yeah.
out, back around, and back in.
I'm going to get a dedicated line for the fridge to have like ice.
I lost it.
Yeah, luckily when I bought my house, it already had that, and the refrigerator was included.
It might be easier if I try to get it on the side instead of towards the bottom. Yeah, there's more room for the pliers. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, now let's pull it from the ends and see the pattern.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait until I get ready to. I'm concentrate on the 4 little boxes.
Yeah, so this is just the boxes without the 3 ring pieces.
I mean the flat ones.
Yeah, these. So, yeah. And that's pretty much how you can make anything.
Right.
Anything.
That's cool.
So, like a lot of popular jewelry is just a triangle of mail with a ring right here and a bracelet. Very popular. Also like diamond-shaped pieces, which are just a rectangle, and you add a little point on each, corner, and dangly from the ears, make really nice earrings. The chains, you've already seen, there are, like I said, you can do this spiral and make it even tighter, right? Just instead of going through the previous 2, go through the previous 3. And then there, so that's my lesson for you.
Thank you.
But I do have a demo that I would like to do. I would not advise this for beginners.
Okay, noted.
So you're going to need a very large hammer. This is barely large enough. I would suggest like a small sledgehammer, but you want a very large, heavy hammer. The wire that you're going to use, never ever do this with galvanized wire, because when you heat galvanized wire, it releases a toxic gas. Fine to work cold like we did, never heat it. You're going to make your rings very similar to how you did this, with one exception. Okay, where's this? Like I said, very similar process, but the technique is slightly different, and you'll see why in just a minute. So,
Okay, cool. Take care of yourself. You too.
you'll see this time I am leaving room in between each ring. See that? See ya!
There.
So I'm leaving maybe a 1/4 inch in between each ring. The reason is we want our ends to not meet. We want them to overlap. And the way we do that, if we were to just cut it in a straight line, the ends would meet, right? So we are going to take a regular pair of wire cutters and we're going to drill a hole, which makes a gap so that we can skip the front row and cut the second row. Here we go. We can skip the front row and cut the second row.
Okay, I see.
Leaving the front row so that when we press it together, it
Overlap.
overlaps.
Okay.
Now, it's pretty soft the way it is, but it's not really soft. I mean, remember, we're going to be putting a hole in each one of these, so we want to soften it even more. So you take yourself a piece of wire and you just bend it into a circle and add your rings that you've made onto it. There's that other one I just made. There it is.
Yeah, if I was going
And then you hook it back together.
I would have to
Then
drive along.
Yeah.
To get there in time to...
come on. There it was.
Yeah.
Well, it's just I get off at 3:30 by the time I get home.
There it is.
3:30, and then I
A little
have
too much gas.
That's why I always
Does anyone have a... That might work. Okay, so we're going to heat it. This works best indoors, I'm sorry. Outdoors, it's hard to tell when you've got it to the right heat because there's so much ambient light. Indoors, it's easier. It will glow amber when it's done, when it's ready. It's starting. There it comes. We want it amber. And at this point, more than likely the whole ring is glowing to the point where I want it, but there's so much ambient light it's hard to tell. That's starting to look really good. All the rings, especially on my end, are really starting to glow. Like I said, it's so much easier to tell when you've got it indoors. And then I like that, especially for the middle rings. Now, you want to let these cool down naturally. You don't want to quench them. You don't want to do anything that would speed up the cooling process. Don't even lay them on the anvil because the anvil will act as a heat sink and draw the heat off of them. You want them to cool down very slowly because this is what we call annealing. So you've taken the crystalline structure that makes steel hard and you've softened it and let it kind of get out of alignment. If you were to quench it, they come right back together. So you let it cool down slowly so they don't, the little crystals don't come back together. And you do have to be careful not to touch this too soon, because it should take it several minutes to cool down. And while it's doing that, let me show you how we make rivets. Similar process. We're going to take a length of wire, maybe about a foot, and we're going to heat it up. Come on. There it is. Just heat the tip. Same thing, we kind of want to get it a reddish amber glow. There it comes. You can see it starting to glow. See that color right there? That's what we're looking for. Let that cool down. And while my rings are cooling down, I'm going to take my big hammer and I'm going to flatten the wire.
Really? I was surprised how good my house was because I mean it was, the paint was beautiful straight lines. They redid all the ceilings and everything.
Now you can see it's flattened.
Spanking new house.
Oh, it looks good.
And with a good pair of cutters,
Better when we did the
we're going to start cutting
And it was only 101
at angles. So you see how I cut the end at an angle? I'm going to do that this way.
We had the stock market crash, the last big one, and the housing climate.
And then back that way.
I waited and the spotter.
And then back this way. I'm trying to be careful not to touch the hot part.
Now,
Oop, there it goes. All right. Anyway, what we're looking for is a triangle like that. Okay. Now, we've got one, and I'm only going to do this one time, so I'm not going to make another one. Well, maybe one backup.
Put a play along too?
Oh, yeah.
SCA back, so they
There we
cannot
go.
change their pick.
There we go. Now we got two just in case I lose one.
See,
All right.
your interest rate on like big
These are good. They're cool to the touch now.
Well, the interest rates went up too much.
Who's the lucky one?
That was what I had.
That looks pretty good to me. It's got a nice overlap to it. And you'll notice they've changed color now. If you compare them to the original metal, they're kind of shiny now.
Yeah.
That's how you know you got it right.
Okay.
Mine too.
So I got the house.
And this is why I said the bigger the hammer, the
Right.
better.
Right.
Because you take it, put it on the anvil, and then
I don't remember, but it was
this one wasn't good enough.
low.
Yeah.
You can see the ends didn't quite line up right. But I've got several tries to get it right.
Yeah, I remember when you got yours.
So we got a settle.
Some good overlap.
It's not bad.
That might work.
Like we bought the house on
Cause I helped you move. I helped you move. So I know when you got the house. Oh, I loved it.
That one worked perfectly.
Nice.
Lakewood has very
Take a look at this.
property.
Plenty of room. It's the room that you
You'll see where they overlapped. It formed a nice, like, fat, flat area.
I like you.
We got to get a hole in that now. There's a couple of different ways you can do it. If you have someone who can custom make you a tool,
Put on the market.
then you can make a punch that you can use to punch a hole in it. If not, you can take a screwdriver that has been made with really good tool steel, and then just take a grinder and grind it into a very sharp point.
Is it still soft?
Yes, still very soft. Now, come over here and you'll see that I have a very cheap anvil. This is a Harbor Freight anvil. I say you need a cheap one because you need to be able to drill holes in it. See how I've got a hole right there and a hole right there? So you can't do that with a good anvil, or at least it's very difficult. These cheap anvils you can. The hole is so that the tip can go all the way through instead of hammering directly on the flat of the anvil. So I'll just put this over where I want to make the hole. And this is called drifting.
Called what?
Drifting. See, almost through.
My daughter,
Close, close,
her
close.
husband, her 4 kids, and his home all came in.
It's through.
I had
Now I'll hand it to you, and you'll see, you can see through there. So, that, you're starting to see how much more labor goes into riveted mail than into regular mail. Now, where's my piece? Did something just fall?
It's an acorn.
Acorn. All right, here's my piece that I've already been working on. Let's just say I want to add one more to a row. So, how about we'll just add it right here on the end. Open it up. Pass it through. There, and then you got to close it back. You get a couple of pairs of pliers. Close it back up, making sure that the hole aligns. And it does. And then, where's my special tool? There it is, before I continue. Let me explain this before I do it. You're going to have to make another tool. A pair of lineman's pliers with a hole drilled in it right here, because you're going to push the rivet through. If you're pushing it against a flat, it's not going to go through. You need somewhere for it to go. So just a little divot in the pliers. Okay. So now we take one of these triangles, and being very careful, we put it in the hole, and then we use this and hammer it closed.
In the
You
pliers?
can't, yes, you just can't use, there's no way your hand pressure is going to do this. So you just hammer the pliers closed. And then
Nope, this isn't our house.
it is riveted.
Okay. Do you smash it down?
You can, if you want, smash it a little bit more. That will make it a little stronger. But you just have to be careful not to knock the rivet back out the way it came.
Okay.
But yeah, this will take a little bit of the point off and spread it so that it makes it harder to come back out. And that is how riveted mail
That's
is made.
crazy.
So
I
I was
think I'll be
taught.
doing any of that.
No, I said it's not for beginners. I was taught by. Oh no, I did it backwards. Look.
I
No,
wondered-
I did it right. Point. The point is on the pointy side. Oh. Yeah, and then the flat is on the flat side. Okay. But yeah, I was taught by Master Joffrey. He's Master SCA armorer.
Okay.
And he taught a class just like this. And he had some even better tools. So for making his flat rings, which the whole ring doesn't need to be flat, it's just a byproduct of hammering the overlap flat.
Right.
So don't worry about it. If you just get the overlap flat, hey, that's good.
Right. Right.
But most of them tend to get flattened. And I mean, if you look at historical examples, they were flat too.
Right.
So what he had was he had a cylinder about this big around, and he had a piston that fit in it perfectly. And he had a very large anvil, and he would put the cylinder on the anvil, pour in about 10 rings, just loose, put the piston into the cylinder, and then smash it with the hammer, and it flattened all 10 rings at one time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right across.
Okay. Oh, by the way, the pieces that you made are yours to keep. So,
The houses that they're looking at.
and I believe that one, that's the one I was working on, so that one has to be yours.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
I hope you had fun.
Yeah, it makes much more sense.
And it has held up amazingly well for being about 30 years old. Oh, here's one thing. You can buy this stuff. There are, I even hate to admit it, there are machines out there that make this, which is how they can sell the stuff for so cheap. But all the machine does is it spits out a piece, right? It can't do patterns in it like this, like I did. So if you want something custom like that, there's only one way to get it.
Handmade.
Handmade.